the first science fair we do in Port Said. It has been amazing. The kids answered every single question. It shows that they were invested and they put all their efforts to truly attack the questions and the investigation, and they got the conclusion with every single detail correct. So I'm very, very proud of them.
Good morning. Today was a special day. Today was the science fair. The kids did a lot of investigations and a lot of researches, and they did a lot of models, and they showed us their work in the displayed board, and they also explained to us how they make their investigations and the models. They really had so much fun, and they learned a lot of things, and I hope this is going to help them in the future. Thank you.
Investigation test materials. Dependent variable means something that we measure, whether shells dissolves or not. Control variable is something that we always keep the same amount of liquid in the beaker, same number of shells, same time of investigation. Independent variable is something that we measure. Our steps is we put half an egg in each 6 beakers. We put different types of liquid in each. We were observing in the following 10 days to see the results. What is osteoporosis? The word osteoporosis means pores in pores bones. It is a disease that weakness bones. What causes osteoporosis? When osteoporosis occurs, the holes in the sponge grow larger and more numbers, which weakens the inside of the bones. Who gets osteoporosis? After age 50, 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men will have an osteoporosis reflected factor in their lifetimes. Symptoms: loss of weight, getting shorter by an inch or more, change in posture, stooping or bending forward, shortness of breath, smaller lungs capacity due compressed discs, bones fracture, pain on the lower back. Results of the investigation: we observed that Pepsi is the most harmful drink as it dissolves the eggshells. However, water is the most safe drink as it did not dissolve the eggshells. Conclusion: the Pepsi is the most harmful soft drink for bones.
Question: which type of drink affects bones health? The prediction: I predict that soda is the most harmful liquid for bones. The material is paper, soft drinks, water, lemon, baking soda, shells of eggs, beaker, bones, and vinegar. The survey: Miss Noor, she did not think that Pepsi is the most harmful soft drink. Miss Noor, she thinks that soda makes osteoporosis. How many times do she drink soda in a week? 3 or 4. Which type of soda she likes the most is Pepsi. Does soda affect her health? Yes. Miss Heba, do you think that Pepsi is the most harmful soft drink? Yes. Do you think that soda makes osteoporosis? Yes. How many times do you drink soda in a week? 1 liter. Which type of soda you like the most? Red Bull or energy drinks? Does soda affect your health? Yes. Miss Rasha, do you think that Pepsi is the most harmful soft drink? Yes. Do you think that soda makes osteoporosis? Yes. How many times do you drink soda in a week? 1 liter. Which type of soda you like the most? Cola. Does soda affect your health? Yes.
Our project talks about bouncing ball. First, we start our project by writing a scientific question to make an observation and to try to answer these questions during the investigation. The questions are: will the air pressure change the bounces of a ball, and how high will a ball bounce? Next, we write the variables. First, the independent. The independent is what we change during the investigation, and it is the height of drop. Second, the dependent. The dependent is what we measure, and it was the how high will a ball bounce. Finally, the control variable. The control is what we keep the same during the investigation, and it is the surface and the same length of meter ruler. After that, the hypothesis. It states our prediction about what the investigation will find, and we predict that the ball will bounce more if the ball is dropped from greater heights.
Our materials are 1 masking tape, 1 meter ruler, 1 science journal, and 1 rubber ball, and 1 calculator to calculate the average.
The procedure of our investigation is first, all materials were gathered. Second, an area was found to start our practical. Third, the masking tape is used to attach the meter ruler on a flat wall. Fourth, the one group member was ready to record. Another was dropping the ball from the heights given, and other was keeping a close looking at its its back height. Fifth, the rubber ball was grabbed and dropped from 1 meter mark. Then it dropped from 80 centimeter, and then it dropped from 60 centimeter, and then it dropped from 40, and finally it dropped from 20. The results were recorded, and then we calculate the average. Finally, we repeat the investigation again to make it reliable.
The result of this investigation is as the ball was dropped from greater heights, the gravitational potential energy increased altogether and also as the height of drop increased, the ball bounces more.
Then the conclusion. Our conclusion is the higher the height of drop, the more the height of bounce.
Lower than the mass of the displacement water, then the object will float. But if the mass of the object is higher than the mass of the displacement water, the object will sink.
So our investigation, we started off by getting the equipment. Then we grabbed the measuring cylinder and added 100 milliliters of water inside. We got a rock called pebble, which we measured in grams how much it weighs. We put it in water to see how much water had been displaced and how much water it weighs in milliliters. Then we got a plastic rock and it measured a lower amount of grams that had been displaced with the rock pebble. Now we go to our independent variable, which is the mass of the rock. Our control variable is the volume of water. Our dependent variable is the volume of displacement water at the end. Then comes our conclusion, which is when the mass of the object is lower than the mass of the displacement water, the object will float.
Then here comes our aim for the project. Our aim for the project that if the ship's mass should be less than the displacement water mass during manufacturing, so that the ship does not sink. Then we have the materials. We used for our investigation water, measuring cylinder, beakers, pebble, plastic rock, and the balance. Then we have our steps that took us to make our investigation. First of all, we filled the measuring cylinder with 100 milliliters of water. Then we added each rock once and saw how much water had been displaced. Then we weighed the rocks to compare how much water had been displaced. We then wrote what we observed in a notebook. Then we started to write on a board.
First, we will measure how much this cup. We will say it will be half a gram, okay? Then we will see how much is this marble. How much is this marble? Then we will say it is we will say 2 grams and a half. Then we will put it here in this water. This will be the displacement water. Then we will see how much is this is it. We will say it will be 2. We'll say it will be 2. So when we minus this cup from this displacement water, it will be 1 gram and a half. So this marble will sink. Then we will measure how much is this marble. We will say that it is 1.5 gram. Then we will put it in the water, and this is the displacement water. Then we will put it here. Then we will see that 2. It is 2. Then we will minus this cup from this displacement water, so it will be 1.5 gram. So this marble will float, and this marble will float, and this marble will sink.
So then we have our pictures where me, Farida, and Aiz we were almost done with our project over here. And here was Farida drawing the graph. And here was Aiz cutting to make the model. And here was me preparing to write the investigation. And there was Aiz measuring the model sides. Here were some bloopers that we had took while doing the project. Here I had slipped and spilled almost half the stickers. Here Layan had slipped while she was on her way to throw something in the bin. Here Layan accidentally drew a stroke while writing. And finally here while Aiz was making the model, he accidentally...
Hello, good morning, dear teachers and dear parents. Today our science project is emotional physical connection in our body, and our scientific question: do our feelings affect our body organ? And also we predicted that our feeling and other people's feeling greatly affect the human's physical body. And organs in different ways, positively and negatively, according to the feeling.
Mariam has just presented the prediction, and to know the accuracy of this prediction, we had 3 options: whether to do a survey or a model or a prediction, a survey or a model or an investigation. We choose to make a survey. We asked 25 people, including both grown-ups and children. We asked them about the symptoms they notice when they feel 5 feelings, which are happiness, sadness, anger, stress, and fear. We got different answers from people, and we presented them in tables. A table for each feeling, a table for happiness, for sadness, for fear, for stress, and for anger. The aim of this whole project is to show people the great importance of managing their own feelings in a healthy way, because it has a direct impact on their body. Now Jana Ahmed Kamil is going to present our conclusion and 2 of the facts we found out on the internet related to the topic.
And for conclusion, there are some feelings and for conclusion, there are some feelings affect the human's body, but there are still some humans doesn't show a physical action. And when we search in the internet, we saw that the depression affects the immune in our body. and we should to control ourselves, because if we didn't do that, it goes in the other hand the ill. And we should control ourselves very well when we are stressed, because we should to be focused in the schoolwork. And thank you for.
Good morning. Today we're talking about how volcano erupts. The high temperature within the earth make this. The high temperature makes some of the rocks melt and form a liquid called magma. The pressure within the earth push the magma and start rising to the surface of the earth. The high pressures push the magma to escape through the top of the volcano and flows as lava, rocks and ashes.
Good morning. There are active and inactive volcanoes. You at GS said that there are 1,350 volcanoes in the world. The graph showed the number of deaths from volcanoes. On top was Philippines volcano 2006, which killed 1,266 persons, and the least in Japan 2014, which killed 55 persons. خلاص يلا امسكي انت شو بتطير. Volcano distribution by area. These are the top 10 countries that has a high rate of volcano eruption. As you see, the large in Indonesia, then Japan, and the least is Iceland. Volcanoes have many types and different classifications. The main three are: the first one, cinder cones. They are steep cone like hills. The second one is composite volcanoes. Composite volcanoes is a conical with a concave shape. The third one is shield volcanoes. It's the largest volcanoes on Earth. Now I will tell you some important numbers about volcanoes. 75% of active volcanoes exist around the Ring of Fire, which is an area between New Zealand and North America. The Ring of Fire is the most volcanic active zone in the world. The United States of America alone has over 10% of all active volcanoes. Volcanoes are also good for life on Earth. 80% of our planet's surface was made because of volcanic eruptions. Also, today our investigation is about friction and how it slows us down. Rough surfaces have bumps, so it increases the friction, and smooth surfaces are vice versa. For our prediction, we thought that every time the surface gets smoother, the friction reduces. To do this investigation, we needed cardboard, baking paper, and foil. Our method was to get a cardboard box and to cut the front face of it. And we're gonna incline the cardboard piece that we cut to a suitable angle, for example, 45 degrees. Then we're gonna get our toy car and we're gonna slide it on the piece that we cut. And then we're gonna try it with different materials. Our conclusion was that the smoother the surface, the more the toy car will go faster. But if the surface is rougher, it will be slower. In our bar chart, foil was the slowest one because it has bumps and dents. Baking paper was the fastest one because it was smooth and it doesn't have dents. Cardboard was fast because it has dents but no bumps. That's it. For the independent was different materials that we have used. For the dependent, we observed the speed of the car. لا أيوة صح. For the control, we
Here in test 1, we were mixing vinegar with baking soda. In test 1, we had 41 vinegar, which is the control variable, and 1 gram of baking soda and a beaker. We poured in the baking soda and it's 205 centimeters. In test 2, in test 1, we put 41 millimeter of vinegar and 2 grams of baking soda. We changed the baking soda and made it 2 grams instead of 1 gram. In test 3 of test 1, we had 3 grams and we put 41 millimeter of vinegar, and the carbon dioxide reached 335 millimeter. Now it's time for Yassine Fayed to say the other test.
In test 2, we say the volume of vinegar and the amount of baking soda. The amount of we have here, the baking soda is the control variable, and the independent variable is the vinegar. 31 vinegar is with 1 gram of baking soda, which the volume of bubbles got to 180 milliliter. And we did 41 milliliter of vinegar and 1 gram of baking soda, and the result got 205 milliliters. And here it did 51 milliliter of vinegar and 1 gram of baking soda. The volume of bubbles got 330 milliliters.
Good morning, Miss Khulud, Miss Nashwa, Miss Marwa, and Miss Noura. We present to you the Volcanic Alliance project. First of all, to build the volcano, we got a box of sweets and glued a bottle of water on top of it. Then got cardboard and began shaping the volcano, and then we put cement on top of it and let it dry for a day. Then we painted it with black and red coloring. After that, we put some cement on the surface of the box and let it cool for a while. Then we began crushing it to make rocks, and that's it. And we are going to test how will the houses get affected by the lava.
What happens when a volcano erupts? Volcanoes are a natural site of beauty, but this beauty once in a while can erupt. Volcanoes erupt due to a molten rock called magma rising to the surface of the earth. Magma is made when the earth's mantles melt. Firstly, magma is lighter than any rock around it, so it rises towards the earth's surface. As the magma rises, bubbles of gas form inside it. If the magma is thick, the gas bubbles would not easily escape, and pressure would build up as the magma rises. Then runny liquid magma erupts through the openings or vents in the earth's crust before flowing onto its surface as lava by the cooling of magma. After that, when the pressure cannot be handled by the magma, an explosive eruption can happen, which can be dangerous and destructive.
Our ingredients was vinegar, baking soda, red watercolor, and dishwashing liquid.